It's my pleasure to speak to Dion from Serco. Dion, tell me, what is your designation or your portfolio at Serco?
Okay, right now I'm the janitor. I have a bucket and a mop.
All right,
And
that's important too.
no, seriously, my title is HR Manager, Support Services, Employee Relations, and Projects.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So, what is your view, or what are your thoughts around equal pay for equal work, especially as it pertains to the new labor legislation? And yeah, salaries are no longer a secret. Quite a paradigm shift in terms of that as well.
Yes, it is. In fact, you work in HR, everything's confidential. You
Right.
don't share information. Now, apparently, someone can come to you and say, "I want to see what someone else is earning," and it's like, what do we do? Having just clarified that with Michael a few minutes ago, what it says is that someone has the right to come into to HR and say, "I want to see what my colleagues in the same function area what they are earning," and they have a right to know that. Um, I can see potential emails coming through querying a couple of things, but I think it's a step in the right direction because we should be doing the right thing, and we are doing the right thing. So I feel quite happy from a circle point of view. If someone comes forward and asks that questions, we can defend every action that we've made. Um, where I think it will put HR under some pressure, or the focus, is that to justify people doing the same job but earning different amounts. Things like experience, qualifications, value to the organization,
Performance.
performance. Yes, especially adherence to, like I said, compliance and performance. That puts pressure on the business to ensure you're doing the right thing.
Mhm.
And again, from a circle point of view, and yes, I am bragging about it, I think we have got 90% of that in place. I do think from an employee rights point of view, because nowadays everyone has access to Google and they can get all this information, it's a matter of time before we start getting more and more queries like that. In fact, just in last week, I actually did have a team manager come forward and say, "I've been doing the job for 5 years, why am I earning less than someone working fewer years?" If he knows he's got a right, he's going to demand, "I want to see all the salaries." And we have to think of a communication method to bring that across, where we still protect everyone,
Mhm.
and we are always seen to be doing the right thing.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for chatting, and I'm sure
My
you'll
pleasure.
find much more value from the presentations after this.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
So I'm chatting to Carmen from Standard Bank. She's a human capital consultant, so an HR consultant. Carmen, what were some of the aspects that you found really valuable within the session that we just stepped out of?
I think definitely for me, the new amendments to the law,
Yes.
because you heard a lot about the amendments, and coming to the workshop really just shed some light on all the grey areas that we had regarding it. So that was quite valuable for me to understand how the impact to business and the impact to our company as a whole. So I found that quite valuable.
Okay.
Um,
And do you feel a little bit anxious about the dual employment aspect of it, where you and your temporary employment service will be held jointly and severally liable should there be a claim from a temp?
Look, I think most companies or all companies will feel anxious at this stage. I mean, especially if I think of Standard Bank, a large number of our workforce is from a labor broker.
Right.
So we get most of our staffing from labor brokers, and which will put a huge impact or have a huge impact on our company should we have any of those claims that goes to the CCMA. So yeah,
Okay.
definitely anxious.
So lots of work to do when you get back to the office.
Definitely lots of work to do.
Awesome. Thank you very much for joining us.
I know, thank you.
All right. All right, it's nice to have Angela Lidgett from TFG with us. She is involved in skills development at her organization. And Angela, we're going to be having a presentation on performance management in a little while. I think you'll find that valuable. But just with regards to the changes in the labor legislation, um, equal treatment is a big deal right now, even as it pertains to training and skills development. What are your thoughts around that?
Absolutely, and that's why I was very interested in the presentations today, to give great insight into the equal pay for equal work as it pertains specifically in my organization to learnerships. TFG is a big organization and we have many numbers of learners in our organization, and we want to do the right thing. and make sure that we are not setting the precedent but actually adhering to the new regulations.
Fantastic. Anything else that you found quite valuable in the presentations, Michael's or Dermot's presentation around?
Definitely. As I say, skills development being my major focus, but we also have logistics. We use temporary staff in many areas of our business, IT. So to gain valuable insight and to see what industry is doing, and also to sort of remind ourselves of parts of the legislation and make sure that we are being compliant.
Amazing. All right, thank you so much. It was lovely speaking to you.
Thank you.
I'm chatting to Yul Bander from Metropolitan. Yul, what do you do at Metropolitan?
Hi, Adele. I'm actually the senior HR business partner at Metropolitan Health, which is obviously part of the MMI group.
Right.
And I look after the managed care component of the business, which is known as Metropolitan Health Risk Management.
Okay, awesome. You know, we've often heard people say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What is your view on the changes to the amendments of the labor law? Was it broken? Did it need fixing?
I think there were gaps in terms of the labor law, and I think also from a practical implementation point of view, I think organizations weren't necessarily consistently implementing the law. So I think it's a good thing that there were perhaps some enhancements, but I think it's still too early to tell whether those changes have, or the amendments have been effective.
All right, fantastic. Anything else that really resonated with you from the presentations that we've just come out of?
I think the importance of partnering with temporary employment services, providers, and also just as HR practitioners to really be on top of the game, in terms of these amendments in the labor law.
You got a lot of work to do when you get to the office.
Indeed I have.
Nice
Thank you.
chatting to you.
And to you. Thanks,
Okay.
Adele.
Hi. So this is Status's HR forum, and on this very cold Cape Town day, we're having a nice warm chat with Gavin. Gavin is going to introduce himself, and basically what I want to know from you is, after hearing the presentation of Michael Bagram, how do you feel now with regards to the changes in the labor legislation as opposed to how you felt before you heard it?
Yes, thank you. I think it's important to accept and adopt the new changes and move and work with the new laws, and to make sure that we are following the proper procedures and have the proper planning in place.
Awesome. What is your designation and what company do you work for, and why do you think that it's important for your organization to know what has happened, all the changes, etc.?
Yes, I'm with DWDE. We specialize in disability recruitment and employment, and we find meaningful jobs for people living with a disability.
Awesome. Well, thanks for chatting.